The Hamilton Ticats win 29-15 on Saturday night. It's their final regular season game of 2014. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton, and the win means that they are East Division champions. I'm not sure we would have believed it when the team was 1-6.
Or quite a bit after
ago,
that.
Quite
a bit after that, Drew. I always thought they'd make the playoffs, but I kind of even wondered that heading into this game, and it would have been a shame had they, as I told you before, had they not made the playoffs. I think this would have been the best team in any sport that I've ever covered that didn't make the playoffs, and that's not a compliment. But we don't have to worry about that now that the first place team, and they didn't do it with a losing record. I mean, at least there was a 500 record here, 6-0 at this place. There's something really happening here.
I think the other thing that's important to mention here, Steve, is this is probably the most complete effort we've seen from the Ticats in some time. We saw a great defensive effort. That's been the usual thing for this team. We saw good special teams, but for the first time in a long time, we saw a fairly comprehensive offensive effort.
I think without a couple of little slips on Zach Collaros' part, they could have put up some big numbers on offense. It's not like they had a ton of yards, and here's the deal: 93 yards from Grigsby. Rushing, and that's true rushing. This isn't he ran the ball, and that's really, really important. You add that to the 40-yarder he got at the end, or the 40-yarder, and I think it added up to 51 yards last week. So in kind of a game and 2 minutes, he's had about 140 yards. True rushing where the line had to block for them, where it wasn't razzle-dazzle, it wasn't fake to the end, wouldn't bring it out here. That's going to make a huge difference because now they have 2 weeks to build off of that, and they now have the confidence in that running game.
One of the things I think that Grigsby's running did for them was it gave Collaros more time because it made the Alouette defense respect the run a bit more. That hasn't been the case for this team. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher since Dan Lefevre before Labor Day.
You saw twice. I saw at least the very direct effects of that. One was on the touchdown because Zach has a tendency, and we've talked about this before, on second, especially inside the red zone, to hurry things. And I think what you're talking about, having that knowing he had the time, he waited and he found Banks. And that was such a key touchdown because they'd been to the red zone, I think, two or three times, and hadn't converted it into a touchdown. And still they aren't really setting the world on fire. But I think they have to be really encouraged with all the three parts of that game. A very underrated part of this game, Justin Medlock's punts into the wind. And even one, I mean, it really way better than the last few games he's punted into the wind.
The other thing about this win, giving them the East Division title, is that it gives them some rest.
Right.
They've played 12 straight weeks because they were the first CFL team to be finished both their buys. I think that's important for this team given the fact that they have a number of guys, most importantly Andy Fantus, banged up, but everybody at this point of the year could use some rest.
I think that adds even more sort of, not credibility, I think sort of you should be appreciating this win more because of that 12 weeks playing straight, because of the beating up, and they were unable to throw anything over the middle because that's their guy. The best they did on that was Luke Tasker angling into the middle, and man, does that guy play football.
Yep.
I mean, he and Speedy Banks, of course, he's changed the nature of this team. This is a bona fide, I would say a bona fide NFL player. I mean, when you look at it, they've just scored. I mean, he just puts them in great position, and now him and Sinkfield are really playing well off each other, and they've gone. Look at how much they've changed. We talked about their lack of speed. Now we'll never mention Chris Williams anymore.
Yep,
because they got him.
No question.
They got him now, and they have a Chris Williams kind of backup in Sinkfield. They are fast.
The one thing I think we should finish this little video with is about Tim Hortons Field. Team is now 6-0 here, and you've talked about it, you've written about it, but it's still worth mentioning. There is a certain amount of mojo going on right now.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. I think that's been a healing thing. The thing's finally open, right? So don't forget, you got 24,000 people. Most of them have been great Ticat followers, most probably all of their lives. High percentage of season ticket holders that have been waiting to get in, and it really, I think it's been a bit healing now. They had an argument about where they're going to put the stadium or something, didn't they? There was something like that. So, and it's blown over. And when you look at it, and you and I talked about this a lot, and everybody looked like we're Ticat lovers, and definitely the Ticats wouldn't tell you that we're Ticat lovers. But of the three stadia that are new, this is the one that really got sort of done. It's not quite done, but done the quickest. I mean, it was 4 years in Ottawa. They had to blow a whole year off when the stadium was already done because it was malfunctioning in Winnipeg. So it's not as bad as we think, and I think that part of it's over. I think people have come to grips with this. this is our place. This precinct right here, Scott Park, is where it's all going to happen, and it's going to happen in non-Ticat stuff too when they get the parks out here. Yeah, this is a long-winded answer to say there's something happening here, and I think it's special. And I think it's almost like when they opened, not when they opened Civic Stadium, but when the Tiger Cats became the Tiger Cats and joined what is now the modern CFL. That was a team built on defense. Nobody could tell you who the quarterback was of that team. And they have a quarterback that people can tell you who he is right now. But this team, this crowd is identifying with that because they don't just play good defense. They play intelligent, and it's
gritty, violent.
It's violent. Deep. Yeah, and they're much. I had a long private talk with Kent afterwards about the idea of tackling, and it was certainly something they went after in the off season. And boy, did it show.
Make sure you check out Monday Spectator. We'll have a full game report as well as Steve's column reporting from Tim Hortons Field. I'm Drew Edwards.